Guys, welcome to another DracoCatt Demon Hunter video. Today we're doing the best Demon Hunter decks after the Hunter nerf and the Theatar nerf. Theatar was nerfed, right? I've been gone for a while. I was at TwitchCon, but we're back. We're making videos, hyped for the next expansion, still looking for those best Demon Hunter decks. And today I'm bringing you three. We got the best Relic Demon Hunter deck, we got the best Aggro Demon Hunter deck, and we got something spicy that's actually performing really well. So let's jump into it. The first deck we're going to be looking at is going to be the Fel Relic Demon Hunter deck. This deck is the highest win rate deck on HS Replay right now, and I was playing it a whole bunch yesterday, and it might have been the best feeling Relic Demon Hunter deck I have ever played in regards to the meta feeling experience. I think I won around 9 games in a row with this on my way to Legend, so felt amazing. That being said, this deck is super flexible. It's got all these cool 4-drops. You got Prosecutor Meltronix, who was pretty awesome in every matchup that wasn't Hunter prior. So since there's much less Hunter, she obviously makes the cut. There's been a whole bunch of games that I've won off of using her at this point now too. So a big fan of using her. This card's got Okani. Okani is super awkward and weird to play around. Love having that included in the deck, as well as we got the Scorpids and the School Teachers for that Discover flexibility. We include the Lady Setheno package as well with the Predations, so you get that extra burst if you need to with all the cheap spells. Then, of course, you got the Jace finisher, the Zillig, the Hero, the Zymox, the go hard on your relics, and yeah, deck feels great. Mulligan with this, you want to keep the relics in the deck, as I always say. Relic Vault is the best card to find in the mulligan, pretty much in any situation. You want to sometimes keep the Phantasms if you already have the Relic Vault in hand, because going Vault into hit Vault Phantasms is a great way to start off a Relic Demon Hunter game. The other cards I like to keep would be Sigil of Alacrity, of course. You know, getting the cycle going. We always love that. And yeah, deck feels super juiced. Hope you guys enjoy it. I got some videos coming out specifically of this deck and that crazy win streak in the next few days, so definitely check that out if you want to see this deck you know, really fly. Next deck we're checking out is going to be the Aggro Demon Hunter deck. This deck is performing super well. This is the highest performing Aggro Demon Hunter deck on HearthstoneReplay.net, and for good reason. It's just super solid. If you guys have never played this deck before, it's going to be kind of like you'd expect, but the nuance is really in the mulligan. There's a lot of good stuff to keep in the mulligan, so you need to make sure that you're choosing the right cards wisely for the matchup, and you understand how to mitigate the risk in the draw consistency with success. And what I mean by that is there's a bunch of cards in this deck that shuffle things back into your deck, which is a pretty anti-tempo thing to do, like Dispose of the Evidence and Bibliomite. So when you're putting cards back in the deck, you're thickening up the deck, making it so it's less likely to draw the best thing that would be for your given circumstance. So you want to make sure that if you're doing that, you got the Magnifying Glaives, you got the Sightless Magistrates to make sure that you're going to be able to reload and keep pushing out that damage. This deck can be kind of difficult with the 40 health that Renathal provides for our opponents, but that doesn't really mean that you can't get there anyway. This deck gets pretty nuanced as you're going through the games, because there are typically like 2 decisions you make. Like, am I going to hit that and then trade into that? Or am I just going to go face with this and then leave that alive and then develop this? So there's usually like 2 plays. And whether you pick A or B will dictate the entire outcome of the game. So even though you might think playing this deck is simple, and it's easy because there's always something to play and a card to jam on the turn, it's very important that you take your time, you make your plays collectively, and you do the best thing given your opponent's reactive ability to deal with what you're doing as well. So this deck's got some cool cards in it. Sightless Magistrate is one that I want to kind of highlight here as well, because sometimes you don't actually want to draw your opponent cards. Like if you queue into a Hunter, you don't want to keep Sightless Magistrate, but if I queue into a Mage, I'm pretty much always going to keep a Sightless Magistrate, because Mage is going to always have like more than 5 cards in their hand, unless they're a Secret Mage, which is, you know, not normal. But a Hunter, you don't want to draw them cards. So this card is not super good. So you got to think about that kind of stuff when you're playing in these games and doing the mulligans, because I always want to find a magnifying glaive typically, or a sightless magistrate in my mulligan. That's my primary thing that I'm looking for. And then after I have one of those two cards, then I start to think about like, what's the best opener? You know, so there's a couple different kinds of openers you can do. One of the nuts openers that kind of blows out games is going Vicious Slither Spear, hitting and then hitting a Fury, and then a Metamorphin in the same turn. So if you have a coin, you can do something like that. You also can do it without the coin. If you just play Vicious Slither Spear, you get a Predation for free. You jam that. You coin out the Metamorphin. You can do that on turn 1 if you're on coin, and that's a shit ton of stats for the way to start out the game. So that's super good. The coin Bibliomite opener is also really great if your opponent is checked and they don't have the way to get rid of the Bibliomite. That's how you start kicking out like 20 damage from sticking one minion on turn 1 or 2. So really important to think about those moments, because, you know, like you're playing against an Imp Warlock, they're not going to be able to deal with a Bibliomite. You know, they don't have a card that does that. However, if you are playing against the Demon Hunter, on the other hand, they probably got a Fel Barrage. So or they could have a Fel Barrage. So you got to think about these kinds of things to decide on what is the opener that you're willing to actually go with. Another good opener is Dread Prison Glaive into Vanguard. Sometimes just going wide against like a rogue or something like that is just really annoying for them to deal with, as well as Dread Prison Glaive into just the simplistic Fossil Fanatic, because if you are able to keep the Fossil Fanatic down and you just get to keep drawing Fel spells, you'll probably just win the game. So yeah, aggro deck's super good, but you know, you got to be really confident and decisive with the routes that you're playing with it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Last but not least, I got my dude Iscoman's Big Demon Hunter deck, and if you guys know me well, I love playing Big Demon Hunter. That's one of my favorite things to do. I've been playing a lot of Big Demon Hunter, and he has a really cool take on it right here, where we got Onyxia. Well, we got to make Onyxia Golden eventually. We got Denathrius, we got Moarg, Forge Fiend, Inquisitor, we got Zymox, Ironbound Brutes. That's super cool. We got Sylvanas in the deck as well, along with Theatar and Vandar. So the way this deck works, and the way you play Big Demon Hunter decks, is you play Abyssal Depths, which always tutors Vandar, and you can play Vandar on 4, thus making the entire top end of the deck super cheap, or I guess 3 mana cheaper. I don't know if that's super cheap, but it's, you know, way more considerable than what they normally cost. So yeah, it's super cool playing this deck. I would also say that you have the relic package to lean on as well, where you can keep the vaults and the extinctions and the phantasms and the dimensions. Like, obviously that's still gonna be super good, so you kind of want to see what you get. So typically, if I'm playing Big Demon Hunter and I hit like a nice relic opener, I'm just going to commit to that. But if I get in Abyssal Depths, I'm going to make sure that I can probably hit the Vandar on 4, because that's going to make me able to really pop off once I'm, you know, playing the dimensions later and pull on like 1 mana Moarg Forge Fiends and stuff like that off of it. So yeah, really cool deck. Big Iscoman right here. This cool deck hit rank 192 legend by him, and yeah, so obviously it's not that much of a meme. So if you want to play Big Demon Hunter and you also want to win, I would suggest playing this deck. It might be even better than the one that I posted last week. I can't wait to play some more of this. I'm going to probably try and hit Legend with this deck later on this week. So if you want to see some of that, I stream on Twitch at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I play Demon Hunter every day, always looking for those best Demon Hunter decks and playing the spiciest brews. So thanks again for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, hit the bell, write any kind of nonsense in the comments. And if you just want to write nonsense, let me know you listen this far. You are fucking awesome. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Peace.